Okay. Welcome. This is Gentle Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca, and I welcome you. I'm a little hoarse today, a little froggy, I think, from the pollen, but I feel great. And I had my second vaccine on Saturday, so I'm feeling just this sense of joy and celebration, and I feel great. I didn't have very bad side effects, so I'm grateful, and I can go see my mom in a couple of weeks. So today's topic is the fine line between good boundaries and restriction, between too much and not enough engagement. Yoga is a process of balance, engaging certain muscles to strengthen and support while releasing other areas to relax and lengthen. One of the things I like most about yoga is that you get the strengthening and the stretching in the same pose. And and when one set of muscles is contracting, they create the ideal environment for their opposing muscles to relax and lengthen. In my early yoga days in Atlanta, I studied with Martin and Margaret Pierce at the Pierce program. It was the first yoga studio in Atlanta. They were students of Desikachar and a form called Vinyasa. And for each pose, we learned a counter pose. For a forward fold, we would do a back bend. For a side stretch, we would stretch the other side. When one pose opens, the next pose brings things back together. It's a beautiful system, leaving the practitioner feeling centered and calm, strong and flexible. So let's practice this in a meditation, and then we'll try to be aware throughout class of how this is working in the body. So take a moment to get comfortably grounded, feeling your connection to the earth. We have our animals in place, and just let them be part of the moment. You know, my cat is usually somewhere between my ankles, so today he's outside. Ah, begin to notice as you sit where you're connected to the ground. And then notice the places that are engaged to help you sit upright. Feeling the strength of your back, the length of your spine, your crown of your head reaching, the strength of your neck to support your head. Begin to send the breath up and down this column of strength, kind of centered in the spine, but through the back body. As you inhale, feel that engagement as you rise taller in your seat. As you exhale, notice that sensation of sinking and settling and letting go in order to be grounded and connected to the earth. Several breaths like this, inhaling up and exhaling down, inhaling and exhaling between earth and sky. As we notice these places of engagement, can we notice places of over engagement? Let's start at the crown of the head and see if we can let some of that over engagement go and notice where we need to strengthen for more support. From the crown of your head, softening the muscles of your face. We sometimes use our faces in order to effort, right? So we squeeze the eyebrows together, we wrinkle the brow, we grit the teeth. So let's let all of that go because it doesn't actually give us any strength. Softening the jaw. Feeling the muscles of your neck be engaged to hold your head up. But are there places in the neck that are gritting, that are over engaged? Can you let that go? Softening the shoulders, letting them hang from the center body, letting your arms be heavy, your hands open, receiving. Allow the back body to be the strength so that the front body can soften, opening through the heart, opening, softening the belly. Those deep core muscles remain engaged, but the more surface muscles can soften and allow movement through the body. How much do you need to engage in your hips to remain upright? Can you let them go? Where is the engagement to keep you sitting up tall? Relaxing through your legs, letting them be heavy, releasing through your feet, allowing your toes to unclench. Let's take several breaths, moving through the body with some awareness of strength and relaxation, engagement, and letting go. Let's take 5 breaths. I read a beautiful meditation this morning in my spiritual practice that was about this topic. And they said, throughout the day, notice the places in your body that feel tense. Use your breath to deepen your awareness of these areas. Feel into where the tension is coming from. Is this body part holding strength and structures for other areas in the body? Are there places in your body that are too relaxed, or where you could build up more strength so that other places in your body don't need to compensate? So as we go through our practice today, we'll have some awareness of this. I'm going to scoot back a little bit, and we'll begin with our sun breaths. Inhale, allowing the arms to float up. Turning palms down, softly release the arms down. Be very aware of the places of engagement in this movement and the places that can let go and soften. Notice your shoulder blades moving on your back. Become aware of whether you're overemphasizing your traps by lifting your shoulders up to your ears, and let them soften down as you move through this space. Just a few more, taking the time to connect your movement and breath so that it takes the whole inhale for arms to float up and the whole exhale to release down. And one more time, we'll reach up together, and then this time lower the right hand and come up and over with the left. In this position, see if you can breathe into your side body, opening up the ribs, the waist, and then begin to circle the wrist of your hand that's up. And circle in the other direction. Inhale here, and then exhale, release the arm down in front, and inhale, draw it up and over. Now move in the right range of motion for you today, and that may be much smaller, or maybe you have lots of range of motion today. Please be in connection to your body and honor what's presenting today. Find a place to reverse direction, opening up. Use one breath for each circle. And this or the next time that you're inhaling, use it to come up through center and over to the other side. We'll hold first to open. Use the breath to open the side body, stretching almost like a balloon is opening inside and pressing against the walls. And then begin to circle your wrist, warming up through the hand and wrist, reverse direction. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, release, and begin to circle. And again, you can bring your hand to your shoulder. Maybe circling doesn't work at all for you today, so sit and hold and imagine the circling. Sometimes the mind can take us places that the body can't go. Find your opportunity to reverse direction, opening up, and then use an inhale to come up through center and down, release. If you're sitting cross-legged, go ahead and switch the cross of your legs, bringing the other leg in front. Hands to your knees or thighs or ankles, and we'll move into a seated cat-cow. Inhaling and rolling the pelvis forward, opening the front body, reaching through the crown. Exhale and draw the tail under you. Belly comes in, release your head. Inhale, roll the pelvis to initiate the movement. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, and the movement moves up the spine. Take your time. This is a wonderful way to take a little inventory, right? Where are the places that feel nice and fluid, that are moving beautifully today? And where are some places that might feel a little bit stuck? Stay with this movement or add this circling movement by moving the rib cage to the side, back to the side, and forward. So this isn't circling at the hips. It's really this subtle movement of the rib cage. It's hard to find, especially if you're tight. If you're circling, try and move in the other direction and see if you can find this isolation of the rib cage. And then we'll end with just a few cat-cow moving forward and back. Come to stillness, inhale and reach up. Exhale, draw the left hand to right knee and the right hand behind you. Inhale to sit up tall and exhale, look over your shoulder. Inhale, arms come up and over to the other side. Make the space on the in and exhale to twist and take your time. We'll move side to side, staying for one or more breaths. Resist the urge to crank yourself around with your hands, using the breath and the musculature and the support of the spine to move from side to side. And this, or the next time that you inhale through center, pause and release arms down. Take just a moment to sit up nice and tall and notice again the strength of the inner body, the back body, and some aliveness that we've created just in this sequence of moving. Where do you feel that? Do you feel it flowing through the center of your body? Maybe you feel it out through your limbs as well, and we'll continue moving and see where that takes us. I'm going to remove my new little meditation cushion. Isn't it cute? I love it. I'm going to sit back a little bit and bring my feet out in front and over to the edges of the mat. You know where we're going. Inhale in place and exhale. Gently drop your knees to one side. Inhale through center and exhale the knees to the other side. And take your time, moving side to side. Working through internal and external rotation of each hip. Add the twist if it feels good to you to reach behind you. Moving gently, supported. Even though our sides look similar sometimes, they may not be because of our biology or our history. And so please honor, coming through center here, please honor your body, honor the differences. Be respectful and interested in what the differences manifest, how they manifest in your body. Okay, let's make our way to tabletop. If hands and knees is not good for you, feel free to come onto your back, or you can sit up in your chair or on the mat. Again, knees underneath your hips if you're in tabletop, and hands, fists, or forearms with elbows underneath your, so much hair, underneath your shoulders. My hair's so long and it's everywhere. Inhale here and find some length. Feel the support of both your back muscles and your abdominal muscles, right? Because if you didn't engage at all, you just kind of drop. So feel where that engagement comes from and where the strength is. What has to lengthen and what has to engage? From here, we'll move into cat and cow. You can do this seated as well. Inhaling, lifting the tail, softening the belly, lifting the crown. Exhale, tuck the tail, draw the belly in, release the head. Start with the movement of the pelvis and let it roll up the spine. Noticing engagement and release. What has to tense so that something else can lengthen? And what has to lengthen so something else can engage? Take just a few more passes in cat-cow. And come to stillness with a neutral spine. We're going to work with our extension. So let's start with the left leg. You can bring it toes down or toes up, pressing out through your heel. Stay here or create engagement so that you can lift and reach with the opposite arm. Inhale here and come back to your starting position. Extending the left leg, toes up or down, maybe adding the opposite arm. Feel that engagement. Inhale, reach, and exhale down. Now we're going to do a little march from side to side. Please engage as it feels good to you. Maybe you're just moving your legs, maybe you're moving arms and legs, and stop and rest if it becomes too much. But we'll start with the left leg, right arm, inhale, reach, exhale down, opposite side, inhale, reach, exhale down. A few more. Where do you have to engage? Notice on the shift from side to side, very much like walking, right? There's that moment when you change sides, and then here there's this moment of suspension as you extend. Maybe once more each side. And then toes together, knees wide apart. Relax your hips towards your heels and see if you can come down onto forearms or all the way down. Maybe you stack your hands, your fists, or use the edge of a block or a cushion so that you can relax your head down and let go. Breathing here into the back body. The front body is somewhat constricted by the position, and so the back body has to expand. How does the breath help you make some extra space? And from this contracted position, if it's comfortable, walk your hands out. Draw your knees in just a little bit closer and press your hips forward, coming into this knee down plank position. Exhale and press back, contracting. Inhale, move forward and expand and lengthen. A couple more. Exhale back and inhale forward, opening up. One more time. Exhale back and inhale forward. Walk your hands back and we're going to come all the way up to standing. So take your time and make your way up. Use your props. Maybe a hand on a block, a hand on a knee, and walk all the way up. So interesting to use even just that process of coming forward and back in that set of poses, because you feel that the way that the movement moves fluid through the body, right? As you squeeze in and everything is compressed, then you release it and everything opens. This moves lymph through the body. We know the lymph system doesn't have a pump like the heart, which moves the blood. The lymph moves through the movement of our body, through breath, because the diaphragm moving up and down moves the lymph, but also these squeeze and release movements, sometimes in and out, sometimes twists, that help us to compress and then release and move fluid through the body. Okay, let's come to Tadasana, which is our mountain pose, feet about hip distance apart and underneath your hips. Bring your hands to the top of your hips and shift a little side to side. And shift a little front and back. Finding that place of balance on your feet. Come to stillness with a neutral pelvis, feeling as if you're really well stacked over yourself. So your ankles are underneath the outsides of your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your ears. Let's inhale and reach up, bring palms together, and exhale, draw hands to heart center. Feeling this position of great balance. So the pose is Tadasana, and what we're working to achieve is samastiti, which is sameness, balance, feeling the equal pressure of our hands against each other, feeling the equal pressure into both feet, into fronts and backs of the feet, engagement through the front and back of the body, feeling that length. Let's take a few breaths here, and I encourage you to work with samavriti, which is same breath, balanced breath. So with eyes open or closed, we'll inhale for a count of 4. Pause at the top of the inhale for a moment. Exhale for a count of 4. Pause at the bottom of the exhale, and then continue. Inhaling for 4, pause. Exhaling for 4, pause. And you count the beats. Maybe it's the beats of your heart. Maybe you can hear a ticking clock. Or you have a metronome. whatever gives you a sense of sameness or balance. Maybe 4 breaths is too many, and four counts is too much. Maybe 3 is better, or 5 is the right number. But let's take another 5 breaths right here. And release the control of the breath, noticing that with Samavriti, in some cases, you're working to increase the inhale to match the exhale. And in some cases, you're working to lengthen the exhale to match the inhale. And notice if you have a sense of which was happening for you today. Interesting. So from here, we'll move into our flying crane. Inhale here. Exhale, make your crane wings, lift your left leg like you're stepping up onto a box. Inhale through center and exhale to the other side. It's helpful to have your eyes on a focal point. I forgot to cue it. So find one now and keep going. Inhale in the center. Exhale, flapping the wings. Finding just a moment of balance and then back to 2 feet. 2 more times. And coming through center, pause once again, noticing your balance on 2 feet. We're going to move into tree pose, and I'm going to try not to be sad because of the trees that were lost across the street. But let's dedicate this tree pose to those trees, or any trees that we've lost. So starting here with hands at heart center, or if you need additional support, take it by turning your body. Maybe you see my new yoga chair. I'm so excited. It's a beautiful chair. Maybe that's the kind of thing that will give you some support. So starting here, do go ahead and find your drishti, your focal point. Take a breath here and then begin to settle into the left leg in such a way that you're still up and over. It's almost as if you have one leg instead of 2, right? Instead of the balance on 2, it's now moved to 1. The other leg comes up and out, and you find your place above or below your knee or at your ankle. Feeling the connection of foot to leg, the strength of the leg, and the drawing of energy up from the earth through heart center. Maybe we can grow our canopy. And just last week, I was seeing the leaves beginning to open on those beautiful trees. Breathe into your heart. Open up one more breath. And then exhale through center and lower your foot down. If it feels good to walk in place, go ahead. And then come to stillness once again. If you need to shift your position for this next side, go ahead and do that. And come to stillness before you continue. Maybe you have a hand on sturdy furniture or the wall, one hand on your heart. Begin to settle into the right leg without a big shift to the right. Raise the left and turn out, finding that foot position for this side. Feel the connection of foot to leg, leg to foot. Can you draw breath and energy up through heart center and grow branches, opening the canopy of your tree? Where do you need to engage? And where can you let go and soften? One more big breath. And exhale, hands to heart center, 2 feet down. Walk in place if it feels good. And then come back to stillness. Let's take another 5 breaths, working with C-IAYT. So inhaling for a count, your choice. Pausing. Exhaling for the same count. Pausing. Take your time. And after your 5th exhale, release your hands, shake out, and notice, did you have a longer or shorter breath count this time than you did before? Did your breath shorten because of effort or lengthen because of focus? Who knows? Either way is perfectly perfect. So we're going to work with step backs into crescent lunge or warrior 1, and then we'll open up to warrior 2 by turning to the side. So from a balanced position in Tadasana, feet hip distance apart, maybe start with hands on your hips. Let's step the left foot directly back, right? So staying on railroad tracks, not a balance beam. And you can be up on the ball of your foot, or if warrior 1 includes dropping your heel and turning your foot out a little bit, and you prefer that, that's perfectly fine. The front knee is bent and over the ankle. And from here, maybe with eyes on a focal point or drishti, maybe you can raise one or both arms. Inhaling and growing tall, opening up. As you exhale, draw your left arm forward and your right arm back, coming into a twist. Inhale, back through center, and exhale, begin to twist to the other side. Pivot and drop your back foot. You might need to rearrange your feet a little bit to get that alignment between heel and arch or heel and heel, and make your way into warrior 2. So your front knee is turned out right at the hip, not the knee. The knee and the toes are pointing in the same direction. You have one arm extended in front, the other behind you at shoulder height. And you're turning to look over your right fingertips. Take a moment here to feel where you have to engage and where you can let go to find the seat in this pose. We're going to inhale, straighten the front leg, and turn just your gaze to the side, arms come up, and exhale, come back down into the pose, finding the seat of the pose. Now, from here, we're going to pivot on the back foot. You can bring your hands to your hips if you'd like. Maybe you lift the foot, or maybe you can literally turn on the foot, coming back through your crescent or warrior 1, and then we'll step the back foot up. Okay, that's one side. Shall we try it to the other side? From your balanced pose, Tadasana, hands on your hips, eyes on your focal point. Let's step back with the right leg. And again, the front knee is bending so that it's right over the ankle. You're reaching back through the other foot, pressing back through the heel. Feet are on railroad tracks, so they're not in front of each other, right? And if balance is wobbly, make it even wider. That can help. Maybe one or both arms can come up. Big inhale here, reaching, opening through the heart. Exhale, your right hand forward, your left hand back, coming into a twist. Inhale back through center and keep going. The left arm comes forward. Your back leg is going to pivot and drop down into your warrior two pose. Take a minute, readjust your feet if you need to. Front leg is turned out, knee bent over the ankle. The back leg is turned in a little bit, pressing the heel away. Toes are pointing in. Arms up at shoulder height. Look out over your front fingertips. Let's inhale, straighten the front leg, and turn the gaze to the side. And exhale, come back into warrior two. Beautiful. Now we're going to do the pivot. Bring your hands to your hips. Pivot on your back foot, or you can take little steps. That feels better in my feet. And step back up. Beautiful. Beautiful job. We did a little vinyasa. Excellent work. So let's take a moment here in Tadasana. Let's inhale, arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll do it 2 more times. And exhale. You can sigh if you like. And release. We're going to make our way back down to sitting. So please take your time. I'm going to use my chair, which is handy, to step back with one foot and lower the knee. I've got the hand on the chair. And then I can bring the other knee down and move my feet to one side. Hands down, my hips can come down. And I'm going to come into a bound angle pose with my feet in front of me, knees out wide. Now, as soon as you arrive, take a moment to rock a little bit from side to side, giving yourself a little massage in some of the muscles we've just been engaging and stretching. And then come to stillness in the center. Notice if you're rocking back onto your tailbone, and that is a clue that you need to sit up higher. So maybe you have a folded blanket, or I'm going to use this bit of mat that I sometimes use, just to either sit up on or tuck underneath your sits bones to give you a little more support so that you can sit up nice and tall, hands on your legs somewhere. Inhale here and find the muscles to engage to sit up tall. And then notice on your exhale if you can stay nice and tall, but soften in your hips and let your knees come down. Does that make you slump? What do you need to do to get nice and strong and tall up on your sits bones on your inhale? And keeping this orientation, this strength, can you let go in your hips and let your knees drop open just a little bit more? Take just a few more breaths this way. Each inhale, find your engagement, your length, your height. Each exhale, soften and see what can let go. 2 more. Now, bring your left foot in towards your inner thigh, extending the right leg out long. Inhale, both arms up. Lower your left hand and come into a side bend. reaching away from your extended leg. I like to flex that foot. I don't know if you can see, I think you can. And really engage through that leg. And I feel a nice stretch through my hip, through my side body. Inhale, come up through center, lower that hand down to the inside of the leg, and bring the other arm up and over. Maybe you bend your elbow and bring your hand behind your head. Actually, let's all do that. So elbows bent, hand behind your head if that's comfortable for you. Inhale, press your elbow back as if you're opening your chest. Exhale, can you draw your elbow forward as if you were going to try to touch your other elbow? Inhale to open and exhale to close. One more like that. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And then inhale through center and come back into the side bend, reaching away from the extended leg. Inhale up through center, bring your fingertips behind you so that you can switch legs. Use your hands as you need to and find that position on the other side. We'll inhale together, lowering the right hand, exhale left, away from the extended leg. Flex that foot, activate the leg. Take a breath here, open up. Inhale through center and exhale, come forward. And again, let's bend this elbow and place the hand behind the head. Inhale here to open and exhale, draw the elbow in. Inhale to open and exhale to close. Last time, inhale to open, exhale to close, inhale through center, and exhale, lengthen. I have a little cramp in my hip, so I'm bouncing my leg very gently just to let it go. And then I'll inhale up, hands behind, bring both your legs out in front, a little bit closer together. Hands can be behind for support if you like, or use your hands to go ahead and windshield wiper with your legs. Yes, little tiny bounces if that feels good. And windshield wiper. Beautiful job. Okay, go ahead and make your way down onto your back, carefully leaning to one side. Extend your arm behind you and slowly make your way on to your back. Allow your knees to bend and your back to be long against the ground. Okay, so from here, I'm going to draw both knees in, maybe holding on to one hand to each knee, or some people like to hug their shins or hold the backs of their thighs. Whatever feels good. I like to rock a little bit. Helps me get balanced on my back body. And then I'd like you to hold on to your left knee, maybe with both hands, and release your right foot down. Maybe it's comfortable for you to slide it out along the mat. If that's not comfortable, just keep it bent. Feeling that pressure, the extension of one leg and the drawing in of the other. And now we're going to switch. So I'd like you to begin by drawing the right leg in, switch to hold it, and then release and extend the left leg, or just release it down if extending doesn't feel good. And we're going to switch again. Draw the knee in and release the other leg. And again, switch. Take your time. We'll switch 2 or 3 more times to each side. Noticing where you need to engage to make this happen and where you need to let go. One more time, make sure you work to each side. And then allow both legs to come down, either knees bent or legs extended. Mini Shavasana, maybe you rock your hips from side to side. Bend your knees once again if they're straight. And we'll just do a little pelvic tilt. Exhale and press your low back into the mat. Inhale, release the press. Let the curve come back in. And again, so we're rocking the pelvis forward and back. It's almost like a lying down cat-cow. I said just in the pelvis, but really it affects the whole spine, doesn't it? And then come to stillness. Bring your arms out at shoulder height, maybe elbows bent or arms extended, whatever you have space for. And then walk your feet out wide to the edges of your mat. Inhale in place and exhale, drop your knees to one side. Inhale through center and drop, your knees to the other side. Inhale through center. You can take your time dropping your knees from side to side, drawing up through the center, obviously, to come to the other side. Or if it would feel good, allow your knees to drop to one side, maybe turn your head in the opposite direction. And if there's any other twist in your repertoire that you'd like to take right now, please go right ahead and do that. Working to both sides. Take your time with your twist, and then notice if there's any other pose that your body is calling for, maybe a different twist or figure 4 stretch, maybe a happy baby or knees to chest. Take time to complete your practice and then make your way into a comfortable position for Shavasana. Taking time and making this your practice. And when you're ready to move into Shavasana, take your time. Allow yourself to settle, taking support where you'd like it. Maybe pillows under your knees, your head, maybe a blanket, maybe lying on your side or with your legs up on your chair. Allow your body to settle gratefully in to the earth beneath you, the softness and the strong steadiness of the earth supporting you. Allow your breath to flow smoothly and comfortably, with each inhale opening up to the expanse of the sky above you, with each exhale softening and settling more deeply into the earth beneath you. Take a few moments to rest. May your eyes see in all directions. May your ears hear harmony and dissonance with equal pleasure. May you feel the touch of spirit, taste divine nectar, smell the sweet scent of the transcendent and the real. May every breath be blessed with oneness, and may you choose to live in truth, giving yourself fully to this day's unfolding grace. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause. And then gently press in to your hands, your arms, and rise up to your seat, allowing attention to remain deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with one chant of Om for the community we create when we practice together. Bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.